one celebrates their own, like the city of Philadelphia. Athletes become demigods in the city, even ones whose deeds span decades before. They will love you in this city if you love it the way you love your brother.
I really just enjoy being here in Philly. You know, the fans are the best, and you know, playing in Citizens Bank in October, there's nothing like it.
Two different press conferences yesterday, two different love letters to the city of Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler signs a contract extension that will keep him in Philadelphia through the 2027 season. And now his focus, like everybody else, turns to baseball. He'll be on the mound today with Trey Turner at shortstop, JT Realmuto behind the plate, and the birthday boy, Kyle Schwarber, out in left field. The Baltimore Orioles are in town. Little spring training baseball. It's the Phils and the O's. Hey everybody, I'm Tom McCarthy, and look who we found roaming the fields here in spring training. Ruben Amaro Jr. Happy to be with you here today, and excited because of what the Phillies did yesterday by signing Zach Wheeler officially to a contract extension. It seems like, Ruben, he'll be here for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he certainly will, and he's a guy that you had to sign him. It was a priority for the organization, and he is one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher, in all of baseball. In the NLCS Game 1, I mean, this is a guy that you can rely on to pitch in the big games. 6 innings of dominance. This guy was utilizing all of his stuff. And when we talk about a guy who continues to evolve, you see the pitch mix here. He's not just utilizing that fastball, curveball. He's utilizing all of his pitches in a variety of ways. He is so exciting to watch and so important for the top of this rotation. And you see some of the numbers that he's put up over the last several years. Clearly one of the best pitchers in all of baseball.
Yeah, look at what he did last year. 32 games, 13-6, a 3.61 ERA. Probably should have won the Cy Young in 2021 with those numbers. They were incredible.
Amen.
And he talked about this organization and what it means to be a Philadelphia Philly.
You know, it's just first class all the way, and they really take care of our families and put that effort in to make them comfortable and happy, and that makes us happy as players because we're at the field all day. They're taking care of the family, and it just makes our life easier. And like I said, it's just first class, and wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
What a 3-week span it's been. Zach and his wife Dominique welcomed beautiful little girl Winter earlier this spring. And then, of course, the contract extension officially is signed yesterday. And what better way to symbolize it than having kids at the ballpark? Wheeler on the mound, maybe 2 innings today for the Phils. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Back here at Baycare Ballpark, where the Fanatic was in rare form today. He was a little upset that the umpires were a little tardy coming out for the start of today's ball game. Although we'll start maybe close to on time, not
that's a
necessarily
veteran group there, Tom.
Veteran group, yeah. So they don't even blink an eye at him.
Yeah.
They also had some fun with the Orioles prior to the game.
Strut.
Look at that strut. I think the Fanatics working on some new shoes. He's actually doing exactly what Dan Iasonia was doing. Zach Wheeler's running past the Fanatics' pink hat. His new extension in the books. He'll throw a couple innings here today in his first spring training nod. And here's the lineup that he'll face. It's brought to you by the Xfinity 10G network. The future starts now. And for the Orioles, their future started last year, but it's going to continue with the guy leading off in Jackson Holliday, the former first-round pick. There's every thought that he could make this team out of spring training, but if not, we'll be there very soon. Facing Zach Wheeler, those are the numbers from a season ago, 32 starts and 13 wins.
Boy, as Mike Elias, the GM for the Baltimore Orioles, have they drafted properly? I mean, they have not missed on their first rounders over the last several years, and this is another great one. #1 prospect in all of baseball, according to so many people.
First pitch of today's ball game is brought to you by Carrier. Turn to the experts. Now the first pitch is up high. We're underway. The count is 1-0. Holliday was indeed the first overall pick in the 2022 drafts. On the outside corner, according to Adam Beck.
The more amazing things about this lineup, the first 5 hitters in this lineup are all first-round picks for the Baltimore Orioles.
Pretty incredible. Foul tip, and it's 1-2. Last year, Holiday played on 4 levels as a 19-year-old. He hit .323 with 12 home runs, 24 stolen bases. And so far, those are his numbers in spring training. He is 4 for 17. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that just missed. That was a nasty pitch. I think it fooled the home plate umpire.
I think you're right. Spring training for everyone, Tom.
Boy, that was good. Grounder foul. It remains 2-2.
And the thing I understand about Holiday is not just his ability, but his maturity. Now, he did grow up, obviously, in a baseball family. One of the great players in his era, Matt.
That ball's drilled deep to right center field. On the run is Stevenson. It's over his head. It's off the wall. And Holiday's going to pull into second base with a leadoff double. A lot of Orioles fans are here, so they were excited to see that he's part of this lineup today.
And they're right down the road from Sarasota. Sliding on up here. This looks like a little cutter that stays in the middle of the plate instead of cutting in on his hands, and Holiday gets extended and drives it into right center field for a double.
Here's Jordan Westberg playing third base today. For a lot of these Orioles players, they play different spots around the infield.
A lot of versatility with these young players, and Brandon Hyde, the manager, going to try to figure out where to put them all, because they had the Rookie of the Year last year in Gunnar Henderson playing short.
Inside corner, 0-2 to Westberg.
Some question as to whether Holiday should be playing shortstop and Henderson should be moved, or vice versa. Pretty good problem to have.
Very good problem to have. No balls and 2 strikes to Westberg. Hit .260 last year. Swing and a miss. Overpowered. And 1 out. And it brings Colton Cowser to the plate.
Yeah, you did describe that perfectly. That was an overpowering fastball. Good life at the end. And there's Brandon Hyde, manager of the year last year in the American League.
Yeah, 101 wins last season. And he had to endure 5 years, 6 years, I should say 4 years of the first 5 of struggling. That is a foul ball off the bat of Cowser. And you saw how much the Orioles struggled, because last year they were 101-61. And look how far under 500 he still is as a major league manager. That's not going to last much longer, though.
Yeah, product from the Chicago Cubs. He worked under Joe Madden for a couple of years, first base coach over there, and was in player development for a lot of years. And another guy, sort of a baseball lifer, who's worked himself into an opportunity and trying to take these guys to the next level.
Down and away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Cowser 4 for 11 so far this spring for the Orioles.
I was looking at the OPS numbers of these kids in the minor leagues. Every one of them is over 900, 930, 937, 943. I mean, those are big offensive numbers, and they're all power. I mean, power and RBIs, and pretty impressive. Hit 300 last year, and in AAA, 937 OPS, 17 homers.
Well, and you mentioned all these guys are former first rounders. He was the first round pick in 2021, the 5th overall taken out of Sam Houston State.
Got a little taste last year, 61 at bats at the major league level. I mean, every one of those guys earned their recalls and probably helped them a little bit along the way in September.
Left side, that's going to sneak into left field, a base hit. Holiday's being waved home. Schwarber won't make a throw as he dropped it. He'll throw to second base, though, and they are able to get Cowser. Well, that's good recovery. The Orioles do take the lead. But Cowser's thrown out, trying to stretch a single into probably would be an error on Schwarber, but he's thrown out.
Yeah, and Kyle's not going to be playing a whole lot of left field, but Rob Thompson did say he's going to get some reps out there, and today's one of those days. I don't really think that with the Holiday's speed, he was already past third base once Kyle made contact with this ball with his glove, and then he just recovers and fortunately throws a strike to second base and get that batter runner.
Well, that'll bring Tyler Nevin to the plate. Nevin was the first-round pick by the Rockies in 2015.
Phil Nevin's son, isn't it?
Phil Nevin's son.
His dad was a first-round pick, too. Houston Astros, as I recall.
At a Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah. I think he's without a job right now, Phil Nevin. Isn't that correct?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I don't think he got. I know Washington was the guy that took over as the manager of the Angels.
Swing and a miss by Wheeler, so he picks up a couple strikeouts in his first spring training game. The Orioles score a run. The birthday boy will lead things off when we come back to the bottom of the first inning here at Baycare. Brought to you by the Xfinity 10G Network. The future starts now. It begins with Schwarber leading it off, then Trey Turner. JT hits third, then Alec Bohm fourth. They're facing veteran right-hander Albert Suarez, who has pitched in the big leagues before, but it's been a while.
Sure has. 2017, I think it's been.
Yeah, so he's spent some time in Japan and in Korea over the last several years. And you can't blame him. He's there to make some cashola, and that's what he did. Facing Schwarber, who's coming off a year in which he had 47 home runs and 104 runs batted in.
And really, just like most organizations, the Baltimore Orioles don't have a ton of starting pitching depth, and they've lost a couple of guys. John Means to an elbow problem.
Swing and a miss. First strikeout. And the first out.
A rising fastball from Suarez.
Here's Trey Turner. Turner 4 for 10 so far this spring. Phillies had to adjust their lineup today because the flu is rolling through the clubhouse. So a couple of guys had to be scratched, including Nick Castellanos. And Cody Clemens too. So Rob Thompson, not only is he trying to avoid the flu, but also try to find a lineup with guys feeling under the weather. And a high fly ball out to right center field. Kowser's on the run, and it is off the top of the wall. Turner will pull into second. He's there with a one-out double.
Ooh, did that sound loud off the bat?
Yeah, the way the ball was flying during BP, I didn't think that had a chance to stay in the yard.
Yeah, I think it was because of the crosswind. This is a high fastball, and he takes a great swing at it. Look how flat that bat is. Stays on top of it and drives it to right center field. And had there been no crosswind, this ball's out of the ballpark. Just misses going out of the yard.
That'll bring JT to the plate. JT is 1 for 7 this spring. One ball, one strike to JT. Two balls, one strike. Suarez, 34 years old, from Venezuela. So far, one game prior to this one in spring training, couple strikeouts. That was the first hit he allowed. The old scouting report on him had 94 miles an hour for his fastball with his four-seamer. He also throws a two-seamer and a curveball and a changeup. That's the changeup.
It's really good discipline from JT, and I think that's one of the things that the Phillies have been working on, is making sure that they're being aggressive, but being aggressive at the right time on the right pitches. Like that swing, and I liked it. Just missed it. You know, when you foul a ball straight back like that, that means you're right on it. Also a good sign.
Back toward the middle, over the mound, surrounding it is Norby. Over to third goes Trey. 4-3 on the putout. Alec Bohm broke a few bullpen chairs today during BP. First pitch high.
Got a chance to see him for the first time this spring and shook his hand, and he just seems like a more mature, happier. I mean, he just feels it just seems real comfortable right now.
I would agree with that. I think he's just playing, not thinking about anything.
And I think there's a time when you get to the major leagues. I mean, you know, obviously you want to, you know, get there and establish yourself. But after like 2 or 3 years, there's a point where you're like, okay, I'm a big leaguer, and now I just got to get ready to play this major league season. And I think that's probably the spot that Alec Bohm is in now.
Well, it's shown with his at-bats during spring training. I know it's only 7 plate appearances, but he's 5 for 7 so far.
I know there was some question about his defense early in his career here, and whether he's going to play third or first, or whether they have to move him. He's way more comfortable at third base. Bobby Dickerson's done a great job with him. His confidence levels increased on that side of the ball as well.
Everybody in the Orioles thought that was strike 3. Instead, it's the ball 3. And let me tell you this, the scouting report, you know, the old scouting report where he's at 94 to 95. Yeah, he's at 97, 98
he's bringing
his first inning.
This dude's trying to make a club. I mean, again, the Orioles, Kyle Bradish is down with an elbow problem. I was talking about John Means before. I mean, there might be an opportunity, especially either as a long guy or in the rotation, if somebody doesn't step up.
Swing and a miss. He picks up a couple strikeouts in his first inning. The Phillies leave one over at third. We'll head to the second. It's 1-0. Orioles on top.
Been healthy over the last few years. He works hard at it. I think probably, I can't speak from his own mindset, but from our mindset, he continues to mature as far as getting ready, know what his body needs to be prepared. He's worked very hard at that in the wintertime as well as during the season when he comes into here in spring training. But the physicals were great. I mean, even to the point where, in some ways, because of what he's done, better than they were before. So we know pitching is a risk at any age. I mean, you can look at Andrew Painter, who's a youngster, and something happens to him. But because of all those reasons, we think he knows himself well, works well with the training staff, and we think that he can continue to last.
I think that's been one of the things that has stood out about Zach, is how durable he has been. And that was part of the reason why Dave, who's watching from behind home plate today, and the rest of the front office thought it was okay to sign him to an extension at this point. He didn't really need to do it, but sign him to an extension at this point.
And I think, you know, he went through a lot of difficulty early in his career with the elbow issues, lost a couple of years. And I think that as you grow and you mature, you understand the importance of your health, taking care of yourself. It's sort of like the whole process of you know, Zack Wheeler growing up as a player and as a person. And that's why he's become so reliable. He works hard at his craft. He takes care of his body. He loves to compete. All the things that Dave Dombrowski, as we saw there, Dave Dombrowski just feels like when you want to be a championship caliber team, you got to have, you know, guys who can really do the job at the top of your rotation. Ooh, that's just a filthy fastball.
So he goes to the top of the zone against Kjerstad for his third strikeout. We saw the Toyota report that it was the spring training, or the postseason numbers for Zach.
That high fastball is something that he, you know, he can do that from time to time. But the beauty of what he has been able to do is mix that with a whole number of different pitches. There's a breaking ball. He's using that. I guess the sweeper they call it now. He has a cutter. He's working on a new pitch this year to try to get the left-handers off of his, you know, fastball. The left-handers had pretty good numbers against him, and I'm sure he wants to improve on that. So he's working on a changeup, throwing that a little bit more consistently just to put it in the hitters' minds. But he's a horse. I mean, you know, those postseason numbers are just remarkable.
Out to right center field. That was a good jump by Pache, and he's going to get there. And he makes the catch on the warning track. 2 outs here in the second. The other part of what Zach's been able to accomplish, and it's a shame that he didn't win the Cy Young a couple years ago when he probably deserved it, but he's got a little gold on that glove now because he won the Gold Glove last year, and I know that was important to him.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. You know, back when pitchers were hitting, I mean, the Mets had a pretty good pitching staff that could swing the bats, and there was always this competition between he and Jacob deGrom and others in that rotation as to who was the best athlete, because, you know, deGrom was a shortstop, so he was sort of competed with him. I think that's a really big feather in his cap to have become the well-rounded athlete that he is. I always found that some of the best athletes are some of the best pitchers. I mean, Greg Maddux, how many Gold Gloves did he win? You start thinking about, like, the great pitchers, they do everything well.
Kyle Stowers sends one over our heads, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Having a nice spring. Another high round draft pick, 2nd rounder for the Orioles in 2019.
Blowing in, 3 balls, 2 strikes. It'll be Stowers, then Connor Norby for the Orioles. And then Michael Perez, the catcher, will wrap it up for the first time through the order. For an Orioles team that won 101 games last year. And a called strike 3. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings for Zack Wheeler. We'll head to the bottom of the second. His day's most likely done, but we shall see.
Wrap room conversations on him. And one of our most respected scouts that I've ever been around for pitching was a guy by the name of Dick Egan. And Dick Egan said, I'm telling you, that Zack Wheeler's going to be a star. He's going to be a star. And he was, I think, the 6th pick, were you, that year? We didn't have a chance to select him. He was gone by the time we would. But he was talking, and he absolutely loved him. So it's interesting when you go back through your time period, you remember conversations like that people have had, and you always follow them, and his career has spoken for itself.
Jay Cave begins the bottom of the second by lining a single up the middle. So a leadoff single. That year that Zach was drafted in the first round, the 6th pick overall, the Giants took him, and I think he was surprised that the Giants took him. I think his thought process was that he was going to be taken by the Braves, so I think had the next pick.
Well, he would obviously with their hometown, and Braves have done a really good job in their local area of drafting, Atlanta players. But I remember Zach Wheeler sort of, in some ways, kiboshing one of the deals I was trying to do. The deal that when he went over to the Mets, that was the Beltran.
Yeah.
He went over. We were in the process of actually trying to trade for Beltran at the time, and the Giants decided, you know what, we need this guy so badly.
We're going to give
our top pitching prospect for him for a rental, which we at the time did not want to do.
1 ball, 1 strike to Pache. Swings through that one. It's 1-2.
Now, speaking of Pache, nice play in center field. It will be interesting to see as this spring goes on whether he really does challenge Johan Rojas for that center field job,
or even for a roster spot overall.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's kind of proven what he can do defensively, and now offensively he's had a good spring. He's hitting .308.
He's understanding himself a little bit better offensively. I know he's been the guy that everybody's known about his defense.
Swing and a miss. That's 3 strikeouts now for Suarez.
I'm surprised by the velocity, as you said. I mean, that high fastball has been pretty effective. This is the 2nd or 3rd strikeout he's gotten on that letter high fastball. Gets it past Pache.
Edmundo Sosa fouls one back.
Some good ball talk behind the plate.
Really is. I thought maybe we'd get a good eye there. Good eye.
Hey, the fans are into it, man. Another great crowd today. Digging it.
Yeah, this place is jammed. It'll be another sellout, just as it was this past weekend. Bouncer softly to third. Westberg has it, flips to second for 1. They try to turn 2, and Sosa's able to beat the throw. 5-4 on the putout. Speaking of crowds, it's not too late to join the Phils family as a season ticket holder for the upcoming year. Plan holders receive benefits such as postseason ticket access, preferred parking options. Visit Phillies.com/season for more info and to purchase a plan today. Here's Cal Stevenson, 2 for 12 so far this spring. And he takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Stevenson called into active duty today because Nick Castellanos is a little under the weather, something that's going through pretty much every single camp, I think, here in Florida.
That's why you got to take your vitamin C, Ruben.
You got to do it.
Got to keep your immune system up high.
There's so many things going through. I mean, RSV, and I mean, at least that's what my doc has been telling me. I was under the weather for like a month before I came down.
Did you have RSV?
Didn't have RSV. I had something else. I can't remember. Something.
2 balls, no strikes to Stevenson. Swing and a miss.
They have to speed it up a little bit. That ball was by him. I think it's surprising a lot of the Phillies hitters this velo he's dropping.
Stevenson did play in a handful of games last year with the Giants. He was 0 for 9 with San Francisco. He also played at Lehigh Valley. Kind of bounced around. Last year, 271 with 8 home runs in AAA at Lehigh Valley. He's got it into a hitter's count, 3-1.
A pretty good 3-1 pitch.
Sosa will be off and running on this pitch. Tyler Nevin will play behind him at first. The foul, and it remains 3-2. Phillies are 4-4-3 in spring training games this year. Orioles are 9-2. Another strikeout, 4 strikeouts for Suarez through 2 innings. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We're on to the 3rd. New pitcher coming in. Two innings today for Zach Wheeler. He picked up 4 strikeouts. Had pretty good movement on his fastball, too. This is one that he just blew by the hitter. This is Nevin, who couldn't get after that pitch down in the zone. And then up in the zone. Gave up the 1 run on the single by Colt Hauser. And Zach joins us down in the dugout. Zach, first of all, congratulations on the baby. And that's first and foremost. And on the new contract. And we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
How did you feel out there today?
First spring start.
Yeah.
No, it was good. Just a little rust. Hung that slider. The holiday right there. He almost made me pay for it. But other than that, it was pretty good.
As the years have rolled on, how do you prepare differently now in your process in the off seasons?
Nothing's really changed all that much, to be honest with you. It's just knowing what I have to do at certain times of the off season. Throwing, working out wise, and starting to ramp up at certain points. So that's the only thing that's really changed just over the years.
It's funny, Zach, we ran in the open your comments about the city of Philadelphia, and we coupled it, we married it with Jason Kelsey's comments about the city of Philadelphia. 2 press conferences going on pretty much simultaneously, and I thought both comments about the city and about the fan base were really poignant. I thought it was great for the city that both of you felt the same way. Talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
He's a lot better with words than I am, but
he was pretty good.
He's always been that way. No, but it's when you play there in Philly, and your teams, they have success. It makes it that much better, and the fans bring the excitement to the stadiums, and it's just a passionate fan base, and it's hard not to love to play there. I mean, it's going to the field every day. It's a beautiful stadium, and the ownership put together a great team for us, and Dave Dabrowski and Sam Fold. So credit to them, but I think it just starts with the fans and just bringing that atmosphere to the park every night.
Yeah, to add on to that, like the criteria when you're making a decision like this, it's just like a momentous decision that you have to make for you and Dominique, your family. What are the criteria and what are the things that you think about other than, just playing baseball?
It's just being comfortable where you're living, the city, the people, and, all that checks off. We've had a great time here in Philly, and, we're comfortable, and, we're winning baseball, so that always caps it off.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, is that it's sort of like a narcotic that when you're winning like this, and you have it every single year. And for a player, I can't imagine it could be any better than that.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better. That's why you play to win.
Yeah.
We're showing a picture of Winter right now, and congratulations. Tell me about your diaper game. How's that? What do you got on that?
Dominique would say I'm a little slow changing the diaper, especially in the middle of the night. So I think I'm a pretty good swaddler, getting her nice and tight in there, getting her to sleep. Right. I think that's, kind of my
the swaddler.
Right, yeah.
I like it.
That is so great. Jordan Westberg is the batter now for the Orioles. He pops this foul. We also talk about Aaron gets the extension this past offseason. So now you kind of have this 1-2 and even 3 with Ranger sort of feel. That's got to be cool because you guys kind of feed off each other a little bit too.
For sure. It's a friendly competition. We go out there, we do our thing, and the next guy the next night tries to cap that off and do better.
Well, thanks so much for having us chat with you, and congratulations, man. It's awesome to have you on board for the next few.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Zach Wheeler, our guest. Not bad for Max Castillo. Picked up a couple of strikeouts along the way. We'll head to the bottom of the third. It's 1-0 Orioles. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. Along with Ruben tomorrow, I'm Tom McCarthy here in Clearwater, Florida. We're already on to the bottom of the third inning, and Cam Gallagher, Lancaster's own Cam Gallagher, leads things off. The number 9 batter hit a home run here the other day. It was a shot. For Major Leaguer, has appeared in a bunch of games as a big leaguer. 227 with Kansas City and with the Guardians. Check swing, foul ball.
Have catcher's mitt, will travel and get a shot.
He signed just about a week or so ago.
Yeah. Got to be a thrill for him to come back to his hometown team and go deep in a spring training game.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those stories this spring so far. Tried to check. They appeal. And no swing.
While we were chatting with Zach, I mean, Holiday's making his move as a double, triple. Swung the bat pretty well so far today, this afternoon.
Gallagher down on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts. Saturday, right after the game, get fired up for the season with a fan Q&A live from here in spring training. Ask Phillies experts your questions in person or online. Sponsored by your local Tri-State Toyota dealers, proud partner of the Phils.
It's a very flattering picture. That's an old one for me.
I will tell you that you all look good in that picture.
Yeah. Photoshop. It's a beautiful thing.
Phil Cuzzy says that Schwarber held up.
No idea what we're going to do. I think we're going through a live Q&A.
Yeah, we did it last year. It was great.
Talk about.
Got a freewheel.
Yeah, just kind of wing it, right? Yeah. Talk about.
Got to wing it.
Phillies baseball 2024 and how exciting it will be.
Ruben, there's nothing there can't be a script with something like this.
That's a good point.
You got to react to the crowd.
Yep.
Everybody. The band playing in the background because there will be a band playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's going to be festive.
Jovial.
1-2. Kyle struck out his first time up. And he has gone down on strikes the second time. This is 6 strikeouts for Suarez. But it brings Trey Turner up.
And we do talk about the pitchers being ahead of the hitters early in spring training, and this is one of those examples. This is a high fastball from Suarez, who's done that probably about 4 or 5 times now against the Phils. Phils aren't quite up to the timing yet.
This guy's definitely a strike thrower. At least he has been today. Swing and a miss. Wow. 7 strikeouts. He just struck out the side here in the third. We have completed 3 innings at Baycare Ballpark. We'll head to the 4th. And he's done it with all kinds of different pitches.
That's a nasty breaking ball there.
Sure is. We'll go to the 4th. Park on the Hatfield Phillies Franks BOGO nights, when fans can purchase 2 hot dogs for the price of 1. Tuesday, April 2nd at 6:40 against the Reds, and Tuesday, April 16th at 6:40 versus the Rockies. Secure your seats today by going to Phillies.com. Max Castillo will begin his second inning of work. He had a very effective first inning of work. He did give up a triple that should have been caught out in center field. But he'll face Colton Cowser.
I really like this guy's arm. He's got one of those arm paths that is really difficult to time as a hitter. It's a very quick arm and a short arm stroke.
That one's timed pretty well. Fly ball out to left. It's deep. Schwarber going back, reaches up and makes the catch. A step from the wall.
And that ball was not hit all that well, and the ball is just gusting out to left field and almost got to the wall, as you said. But Kyle picking up, he's going ball, wall, ball. Perfect outfield play. That's how you draw it up there, Tom.
That'll bring Tyler Nevin to the plate. Nevin struck out his first time up.
When I say ball, wall, ball, that means as an outfielder, you get your eyes to the ball, make sure you have a good beat on it, pick up the wall and make sure how far you are from it, and then pick up the ball and make the catch.
Some are better at it than others.
Correct.
Castillo last year with the Royals pitched in 7 games. You saw the numbers, 4.43 ERA. He's been with the Blue Jays in the big leagues and the Royals. Now he made it to the big leagues as a 23-year-old. And it's limited action, 21 games, 6 starts. And the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 94 kind of jumped on him. That's already his 3rd strikeout.
And that's what I mean by the quickness of his arm. This ball, he sort of crossfires just a little bit, and then this ball just gets on you with good life that runs in on Nevin's hands. The fastball is supposed to be away, but had enough movement to keep it off the barrel.
Here's Kjerstad. He struck out his first time up. You know, last year the Orioles won 101 games in the big leagues, and a lot of these guys were part of their AAA team, which was voted the team of the year by Baseball America in minor league baseball.
Boy, did they have some numbers. We talked a little bit about it earlier. I mean, offensively, just chock full of prospects, first rounders, second rounders, and they just crushed the baseball.
They finished the year with 90 wins. They were 90-59. Just a stellar year. Now they wound up facing Oklahoma City in the Pacific Coast League, International League, the whole championship thing. Our version of the Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Good foul.
Well, they got to give a lot of credit. I've talked about it before, but Mike Elias, the GM, and Brad Ciolek, who is the scouting director for them, done a super job. They picked the right people.
Out of play. Yeah, this is what they're trying to improve on with the big leagues. First 100-win season since 1980.
And I sort of liken this team to the 2007 Phillies. They got bounced in 3 games in the playoffs. I think probably because these are young players that had never been in that situation. And I think that them just going through the process will make them better prepared for next year. And that's going to be a beast in the AL East. So they're going to have to knock off some pretty good teams, but I think they'll be much better prepared mentally.
The ball's floated out to center, so Kjerstad has his 4th hit of the spring. And it brings Kobe Mayo to the plate. Wait, in a lot of ways, though, Ruben, a lot of these guys are going to begin in AAA again, like Kobe Mayo. You know, there's guys that they're like knocking on the door, but may have to wait because there's too many things are behind that door right now in the big leagues.
And that was the curious thing about the trade deadline last year when they were in the hunt. I thought that they would really make a strong push because they had so much depth of talent at the upper levels that they would make a deal or two to try to get that ace. Now they've gotten them in this offseason with Corbin Burns. Great move. Thought that that was something they would do in the during the season last year because, hey, it's hard to win in the major leagues, and when you get a chance, you want to kind of go for it. But Elias didn't really push that button until this offseason, and now they've got one of the better pitchers in all of baseball, starters in all of baseball, and Corbin Burns at the top of their rotation, which would certainly help them.
Well, and they did give up a couple pretty good players for him.
Yeah, they did. But it didn't hurt them too badly because they still got prospects galore, as you said.
This guy had 29 home runs last year in the minor leagues.
99 RBIs. That's some damage.
1-2. Castillo comes ready. Tap foul.
I really like the movement on Castillo's stuff. Sinker moving a lot. He's got that rising or that riding fastball that he used to get at least one of his punch outs. 24-year-old Venezuelan. Nice block by JT.
JT just perfectly threw a ball over the head of one bat boy running back with his back to it and into the hands of the other bat boy who was about 2 feet away from him. Man was a quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah.
Line drive, base hit into left field by Mayo. And that'll put 2 runners on with 2 outs. Here are the players that the Orioles have added. They just signed Colton Wong recently. Somebody said Tehran's throwing the ball fairly well. And then the others they lost. The loss of Gibson, Kyle Gibson, and we've talked about this even with the Phillies. You knew what you got from Kyle. He was really steady for them last year, and he's part of the Cardinals rotation now.
Just a steadying influence, as you said, probably brought some of those young starters a little bit of knowledge.
Kyle Stowers fouls it back.
He's a pretty cerebral pitcher, that Kyle Gibson. He likes to think about pitching. He likes to try to maximize his ability, try to find an edge, something that young players take some time to learn.
Hardy, and it's 1-2. Outside.
It looked like Castillo lost the grip a little bit on that changeup. Kind of flew open a little bit.
Out to left field. Schwarber's on the run and runs it down. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. That's a heck of a play by Kyle Schwarber.
A couple of challenges today, and he's a one to his left shoulder, covering some serious ground over his right shoulder, and he's moving a lot better.
Baseball's better with friends and families, so bring your team to see ours this season at Citizens Bank Park. Groups of 25 or more will receive ticket discounts in select locations for most games and will be recognized prior to the game on Fanavision. For more info, visit Phillies.com/group tickets. Large groups out here today. It is packed. Baycare Ballpark.
Loving it. Love the fan support. That's what Zach Wheeler was talking about, man. I mean, the passion and the enthusiasm that's been created over the last couple of years. Great stuff.
JT lines that one to left field. That'll be in for a base hit. JT will get 2 out of this one. So Realmuto with a leadoff double against Caleb Ort. And Connor Sheridan will go track down the bat. Big Kyle Kendrick's son. There's Kyle Kendrick's son. Young Kyle popped out to get JT's batting gloves. It's an all-star cast of Bat Boys, Ruben.
Little KK Jr.
He'll join a long list of former Philly Bat Boys, including yourself.
That's right.
Alec Boehm is the batter. He struck out his first time up.
To start scouting them, so I'll have to eyeball them now because I'm going to put my Bat Boy scouting eye on them.
Yeah. We do say that Major League Baseball does assess the Bat Boys.
Well, there's a whole process, man. There's a talent. There's a want to, a know-how.
There's a want to. Everybody wants to do it.
That was a Charlie Manuelism. Got to have some want to.
Yeah, but not in that voice. It's a different voice.
Got to have some want to.
Alex struck out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Staying alive. That was good teamwork by Connor and Kyle. Off the pass from Jake Cave. That was a good pitch. There they are. Got their seed game down pretty good.
Is somebody coaching them down there to make sure that they know what they're doing?
I think Connor's actually the coach.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a veteran. 2-2.
Well, when you get the seed eating process down, that's when you know you're a little bit more comfortable.
Jake Cave is on deck. Three balls and 2 strikes.
Nice job by Alec Boehm getting back into this at bat, fighting off a couple pitches, spitting on a couple.
Were you a seed guy or a gum guy back in the day? They didn't have seeds back in the day.
Seeds, gum.
When you were a Bat Boy, they didn't have seeds.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yeah, of course.
I thought you were older than that.
Seeds for years. Come on.
I thought you were older than that.
Don't tell my mom, but it probably had a little tobacco in my mash. I know. We're not supposed to say that.
Tell
You're
people
not
that.
supposed
You were like 10.
But that was a whole different era. I wasn't 10 then. I was like
kidding.
16, 17.
And a called strike 3, according to the home plate umpire. 8 strikeouts today. All right, I know the Bad News Bears. He's got a cigar. Wait a minute. Is there a smoking section here in the ballpark?
There's not a smoking section.
I will tell you that I did smell a cigar, and I was wondering if there was anything in the area, although that was out in left field.
I just got a hand slap from my tobacco use. No,
you got a text message? Pitch low.
No, by you.
No, I'm not slapping your hand. I'm just wondering who was guiding you back then.
Well, I mean, back then it was a whole different. Now it's everybody knows the bad things. They knew the bad things that are associated with tobacco use.
Oh my gosh. Plus, you were watching the Bad News Bears, and they were doing it there, so you figured if they did it.
Exactly. If Walter Matthau could do it.
1 ball, 1
We
strike
do
to
not
Jake Cave.
encourage any of that type of. A couple of good swings from Jake.
Way to change the subject. That ball is smoked into left field. Real Muto heading home, and it hit him. And he's going to score. And Cave takes a big turn around second. He's 2 for 2. And it's a 1-1 game.
First at bat, Jake Cave smokes the ball up the middle, and then really nice job of hitting on this fastball that's away. And he just drives it the other way. Doesn't try to do anything special. Keeps his head down. It's a perfect swing. Doing his best to try to make this ball club. Another guy who does not have options and trying to fight his way onto this club. 26th man.
Here's Christian Pache. He struck out his first time up.
A wake-up call.
Or last year with the Red Sox, 21 games. That's a shot on 1 hop. Holliday's got it. His throw is a bit high, but it's handled by Nevin. 2 outs.
Another nice at bat from Pache, who's had quite a few pretty good at bats. He stays on top of this fastball this time, smokes him. Had to come off the bat at well over 100 miles an hour, and Holliday makes a pretty good play on it.
Two outs. Sosa, he grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. Take strike 1. Edmundo playing second base today.
Yeah, Edmundo hasn't had a ton of reps on that side of the field, and so it is a different look. Turning the double play, clearly different, something that he needs to be able to do, increase his versatility. I know they have Whit Merrifield who can do that job as well, but hey, there may be some times when they want both of them, he and Sosa, on the field against a tough left-hander from time to time. Merrifield getting some reps at third base for the first time in kind of a while. He hasn't done that a lot.
Inside 2-2. I don't think there's any question he can do it, though.
Oh, yeah. No, he looked pretty comfortable in his time out there last time I saw him playing.
Swing and a miss. And Ort picks up his second strikeout. 9 strikeouts today for the Orioles pitchers through 4 innings. Phillies do get a run, though. We'll head to the 5th. All square at 1.
Be wrong. Supercuts. Real smart hair.
Hop across the pond to catch the Mets versus the Phillies at the London Series in June. Visit MLB.com/London Series to buy your tickets. Can't wait for that. That's going to be great. As we begin the top of the 5th inning, Castillo gets Connor Norby to roll over on 1 1/3. Good stretch by Cave. And 1 out here in the 5th inning. And that'll bring Michael Perez to the plate.
Our boys Dave Buck,
Michael Harris.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I think Zach Wheeler was talking about Phillies being a first-class organization. One of the reasons why he signed back here is because people like Paul Buckheit, who is doing the medical services, guys in the clubhouse, Phil Sheridan and Dan O'Rourke and Sean Bowers, Kevin Steiner, Keith Rudolph, who's the chef there. And then you have Jameson Hall and Michael Roach, who are handling all the travel. And then finally, like a person like Sophie Regal, who's handling a lot of the like the family service, director of player relations. All of these people was something that was always really important when Ed Wade took over, and it's continued and been something really special and important, is to try to create an atmosphere across the board of taking care of the players,
right,
and just being able to say this is a really quality home for you to be and to work at. And you know, started with Bill Giles and Dave Montgomery and all those people, and works its way down. But I mean, these are all things that really do come into play when you're talking about the players, because their families spend so much time here at the ballpark, at the stadiums, traveling. It's a really important element, and the Phillies have done that. John Middleton and his folks, Dave Dombrowski, they've created that atmosphere again, and it's where people want to come play.
Well, you were part of this too for a long time when you were the GM. I mean, you obviously had your hand. You were involved in all that stuff, so give yourself a little credit on that too. But you're right; it does go from one generation to another.
And it is interesting, because that's one of the things Ed Wade asked me to when I first got into the front office. Like, what are the line up the things that are important to the players? And at the time, it was about how are the spreads after the game? What's the travel like? And how are our families taken care of? And those were the things that are really important to the player.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody listened, and there were so many different adjustments made. When we went into the new ballpark, CBP, it was really a point of emphasis to make sure that on every level that they took care of the players and their players' families' needs.
That ball's hit foul by Jackson Holliday, who's 2 for 2 today. Now, before you were with the Phillies, you were with the then Indians, the Angels. After you were with the Phillies, you were with the Red Sox and the Mets. And I'm not putting those organizations on the spot, but you'd be hard pressed to find organizations like the Phillies that do it this way.
Very, very few of them. There really are. I mean, the Cleveland Indians were getting to that point when I was playing there. I believe also. I mean, the Boston Red Sox, great organization. I'll point those two out. But none better. I will tell you this unequivocally, none better than the Philadelphia Phillies.
Well, nice job by Castillo as he shows off his fare in Spring Training 2024. Hey, there's Jason Stark. Let's go to the bottom of the 5th. Today's Spring Thing brought to you by Valley Forge in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. The best records in baseball last year. The Braves had the best record at 104 wins and 58 losses. Then the Orioles. And the Dodgers, one of 3 teams to win over 100 games. Andrew Suarez will be the new pitcher for the Orioles as we begin the bottom of the 5th inning, facing Jake Cave. Those are some pretty good teams. Forgot the Brewers won 92 games last year.
And yet, Tom, I'm still convinced in the Final Four, the last 4 teams that were standing, I'd still believe that the Phillies were the most well-rounded, best ball club. And it just, unfortunately, didn't unfold the way we would have liked it to have unfolded. But I think that they were the best overall team. I know the Texas Rangers got hot, but I like the Phillies' chances. Wow, there was a seagull that
I don't know how Jake Cave was able to, or excuse me, Cal Stevenson was able to make contact on that with that seagull in front of him.
That's incredible.
Watch this. Here we go. Here we go. Ready?
Floating down.
Welcome.
Dive.
And what was on the ground? Was it a seed or something? That
had to be a
that
seed.
Drew the attention.
Speaking of seeds,
Stevenson struck out his first time up. I don't know how he took. I don't know how he made contact at that. Suarez is a former second-round pick by the Giants. 31 years old. Ball's grounded off his glove. Holliday stays with it. And he throws him out. All right, we're going to invite everybody to get their phones out right now. As Phillies fans, the latest news and analysis on your team is always at your fingertips. Scan this code right now and connect with NBC Sports Philadelphia and their app. for the most up-to-date info on the Phils. Cam Gallagher struck out his first time up. And he fouls that one. It's 0-1. Luis Ortiz is warming up in the bullpen. The inside corner. Andrew Suarez, this is his third appearance in spring training. His previous 2 games equaled 4 innings and no runs. That's served out to right. Kjerstad is there. There are 2 outs in the 5th inning. And here's Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, Suarez getting an opportunity here with the Baltimore Orioles. He pitched in 13 relief appearances last year with the Cardinals. Didn't pitch all that well. Pitched to a 7.16 ERA. Cardinals really struggled with their pitching last year.
Three unassisted on that grounder. Side is retired. 5 in the books here in Clearwater. Luis Ortiz ready to come in as we go to the 6th inning. Orioles and the Phils tied at 1. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. The teams are tied at 1. It's been about a lot of pitching today. In fact, the Orioles pitchers have 9 strikeouts this afternoon. Meanwhile, the Phillies pitchers, they have 8 strikeouts. We'll go to the 6th inning. And Luis Ortiz will be the new pitcher. He pitched 14 games last year for the Phils.
Yeah, the Phillies looking for somebody who can eat up some innings out of the bullpen. Some multiple inning guy who's a little bit more versatile. Luis Ortiz is in that mix. Maybe a little further down on the depth chart because he's got options and some, there's some versatility there. But he's in camp. He's going to get a chance. There's Cody.
Cody Ashe, who is one of the hitting coaches for the Orioles. Nice to see Cody today. He's one of the good guys in this game.
He sure is. I think the official title is offensive strategist.
That's exactly right.
Something like that.
Yeah, they have a couple of different hitting coaches. They kind of rotate with some of their responsibilities during the game. Jordan Westberg is the batter. He takes a strike.
Got a chance to talk to Freddie Gonzalez about him, and Cody's really slid into that role extremely well. He's a guy that really close to just being retired, studied the game, was a pretty good player. Thought he was going to end up being a better major league player. Couldn't really get it going consistently as a corner guy at third base, but wanted to apply his trade with other guys, and he's done a nice job with Baltimore.
Yeah, Westberg serves that one out to left. Baron Radcliffe will get the throw in. He's in there for Kyle Schwarber. And Westberg is aboard a leadoff double. Cody and his wife Ange, they were big parts of the Phillies community when they were here.
Sure were.
Here's Colton Cowser. Phillies have made a couple of changes. They've got Rodolfo Castro at shortstop, and Nick Podkol is over at third. bounced foul, and it's 0-1.
Rob Thompson talked a lot about preparing a little bit differently this year to make sure that the guys got enough at bats and enough so they can get out of the gate a little bit better, and something that was a little bit of a concern for him this past year, and rightfully so.
There's a bunt up the third base line. That's a dandy of a bunt. Podkul has it. He fakes the throw. It'll be a base hit for Cowser. That puts runners on first and third with nobody out.
And that's something you don't see all that often anymore, and he did this to perfection. Podkul was way back there, so he just made sure. You see his eyes stay right down on it, pushes it to third base, and does not run out of the box until he makes contact with the baseball. So many young players want to run and bunt at the same time. You bunt it first, and then you take off and give yourself a chance. That's exactly what it was. A perfect bunt, but it was a very good one. He was safe easily at first base.
Tyler Nevin takes inside. Nevin is 0 for 2. He has struck out twice.
Part of the game that Johan Rojas has been working on, amongst others.
He had a nice bunt yesterday in the game against the Blue Jays.
He's got to make that part of his game. A little astonishing to me that it was like almost completely eliminated. That and the stolen base for like 10 or 12 years. I mean, those two parts of the game were like almost completely eliminated from the game, which kind of bums me out a little bit. But I'm glad it's back. Well, Luis Ortiz going with the little rock the baby there, huh?
He had that last year. A little bit more, though, I think, this year.
Yeah.
That baby would be really dizzy if he rocked it that fast,
Very
though.
dizzy.
Out to right field. Stevenson coming on, makes the catch. Tagging from third is Westberg. He'll hold. One out. A bouncer right side. Cave thought about coming home, but instead goes to first, and Sosa's there to cover. I don't know if he didn't have a grip or he just didn't feel like he had the angle to get Westberg coming home, but the Orioles take a 2-1 lead.
Hey, you got to give Westberg some real credit here, because this is a ball that not a lot of guys will score on. Now, Jake Cave hasn't played a whole ton of first base, and he had the right thought process, but I think you're right. He probably didn't quite get the grip, but Westberg was busting it. And it would have taken a perfect throw to get him.
I do think that was a good decision. I don't think he would have gotten him. You know, once it was loose in his hand, he made the right decision. Mayo takes that one in.
And as I said, I mean, until you're playing in games and you're doing it a lot and having a lot of reps, that's just not an easy play. I know he's probably kicking himself. I see his body language out there. But, I mean, he came for it aggressively, just couldn't make the transfer properly. The important part is that he got an out and didn't panic when he couldn't make that play at home.
Outside.
Score that a rare 3-4.
3-4 in the book. Really.
Yeah.
Popped up.
Ooh, that looks like trouble.
Dave says he has it. Ooh, and he does. A run for the Orioles, though, on 2 hits. They leave one in scoring position. We have played 5.5. We're on to the bottom of the 6th inning. Orioles 2, Phillies 1. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. Pennsylvanians are scratching their way to fun thanks to Pennsylvania Lottery scratch-offs. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly.
You're pleading with the folks.
Trying to make sure everybody understands the rules. Like, she cannot play.
No.
She cannot play yet.
Not responsibly yet.
Nope. Rodolfo Castro will lead things off against Matt Crook, who made his major league debut with the Yankees last year. Originally drafted by the Giants. Crook pitched in 4 games in the big leagues last year, had an ERA of 24.
Yeah, he struggled a little. But he's left-handed.
Yeah, they get given a little more opportunities than some others. That's a good pitch. Rolled foul.
Rodolfo Castro is an interesting player for the Phillies because they kept him in the major leagues the entire year. He still has an option left. He's a guy that, you know, creates a little bit of depth for him. Probably not the greatest thing in the world for Castro to have an option left for him personally, but great for the Phillies. Sometimes you got to get a little selfish organizationally, and it's a guy that they really feel it can hit against left-handers especially.
Oh, he whacks that one foul. Yeah, he's hitting .214 this spring. A lot would have to happen for him to break camp with the team.
Right.
Orioles have moved Jackson Holliday over to second base, and he's going to get some action here. He charges, takes that spinner, has trouble getting it out of his glove, but he's able to do it at the last moment to make the out. T.T. Bowens is the guy at first base now for the Orioles.
Holliday's had some plays on both sides of the bag. The ball will always find you. He figures out a way to flip it underhand. You know, used to make that play really well with his glove, his Chase. Ugly.
Yeah, Chase used to do it remarkably well.
Yeah.
With Holliday over to second base, Diego Castillo, former Phil great, is at shortstop. He was here for a couple of days.
Days.
0-1 to JT. JT 1 for 2. He has scored the only run for the Phillies. That's that one foul. Grounder to shortstop. Castillo to his left. There are 2 outs.
Another beautiful day here in Clearwater, Tom. Gorgeous.
Yeah, we got some rain coming in tonight. Not that people at home want to hear that because it's been raining there. Here's Nick Podcool. That he takes outside. Manco's is a hot seller wherever it is, and it certainly is this year in its first season.
Never does miss, does it?
The ballpark never does. Oh, Podcool hits that one well out towards center, but Kowser's there to clean it up, and the inning is over. Phillies go down 1-2-3 in their half of the 6th inning. We'll go to the 7th. It's the Orioles 2 and the Phillies 1. Sunday baseball is back. Join us as we round out opening weekend at Citizens Bank Park. Sunday, March 31st at 1:35 when the Braves are in town. All fans in attendance will receive a 2024 schedule magnet presented by Valley Forge Tourism. Grab your tickets today at Phillies.com. This jam-packed ballpark is the greatest of settings for spring training. And this ballpark, which is run by the likes of John Timberlake, and Doug Kemp, and the birthday boy himself, Jason Adams, celebrating his birthday today.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, happy
Corey
birthday,
Snipe
Jason.
as well.
Corey Snipe.
Did I get that right? Corey Snipe? Is it Snipe or Sipe?
Now you got me thinking.
Yeah, known him for so long. You would think I'd know his last name.
You would think you would.
Yeah.
It is Sipe.
Sipe. Sorry, Corey.
Michael
He deserves
Mercado.
better. He deserves better.
52 games in the minor leagues. Phillies have made some more changes to their lineup. Garrett Stubbs is in the game behind the plate. Kyle Stowers is 0 for 2. He has struck out and flied out. Up and away.
Mercado reminds of one Mr. Madsen.
He is tall and
lanky and lean.
Swing and a miss.
Also got his same number, 63, as I recall.
He's got a strikeout too to start the 7th.
Sure does.
And here's Diego Castillo. That just missed. High. Right at the knees. That's a good pitch. Phillies picked up Mercado from the Tampa Bay Rays. He was a former second-round pick out of Westview High School in San Diego. Last year in AA and AAA had an ERA of 4.79. He'll begin this year as getting into his as a 24-year-old, but will turn 25 on the 15th of April, and he delivers a little cheese up at 98 miles an hour. Well, there are 2 outs.
He almost looks like a guy that still would project to have even more velocity. This doesn't look like he has gotten to the point where he's at his strongest, but this is a lively fastball by Castillo.
Breaking ball, that's in for a strike. Michael Perez is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out.
Perez not really known for his offensive prowess, more of a catch and throw type. He's gotten opportunities in the big leagues.
Got the cut on that pitch.
He was trying to go yard. He's throwing it really fast.
He sure is. It was 98 miles an hour. Ground ball to second base. This is a nice solid inning for Mercado. And the inning is over. 1, 2, 3 go the Orioles. It is time to stretch here at Baycare Ballpark. Phillies down 2-1. Bottom of the 7th inning here at Baycare Ballpark. The Phillies down 2-1 against the Orioles. De La Cruz will lead things off for the Phils. He's the new first baseman. And JT joins us down in the dugout. JT, we appreciate you giving us some time today. How did the new starting pitcher look today, Zach Wheeler?
He looked pretty good. I think that kid might have a chance to make the team this year.
You know, he looked really good. I mean, I know he said it was knocking some rust off. Castillo looked good. I mean, a couple of these guys did look really good today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're just pitching. They're doing such a good job of commanding the strike zone, and Wheels threw every pitch he had today, threw them all for strikes, threw them for chase when he needed to. They've been throwing the ball really well today.
Is that something, JT, that you're working on as a staff, is just the pitchability as opposed to, just the stuff?
Yeah, I think that's something that Caleb and the pitchers are constantly working on. Is they all want to be able to pitch. They don't want to just be hurlers. That we have a lot of guys with really good stuff, but they also want to be pitchers and be able to command the zone and do different things. And they're all constantly working to get better.
Well, he did look good today, and obviously we hadn't seen Castillo. When you think about what the organization has done this offseason with Aaron and now with Zach, how does it make you guys feel in the clubhouse to see the progression of guys staying with the organization?
It's just, it's just a testament to what John and Dave have built here. I mean, the culture that they're building, it's so clear to the players that they want to win, and they want to win for a long time. And, it's very easy to go out there and play for an ownership and play for a front office that shows you that type of commitment.
And how important is it for you to know that you're going to be dealing with, all these pitchers, and how comfortable are you feeling with the staff overall, basically with maybe 80 or 90% of the staff coming back?
Yeah, it's fun. I said earlier, it just makes my job a little easier during spring training, but also fun to be able to work with these guys and try new things, and not necessarily having to learn a brand new pitcher, but take the guys that we had last year and try different stuff in these spring games and try to get a little bit better. If we just try to get each guy a little bit better, that's kind of been my focus this spring, as compared to most springs where you're just trying to learn somebody and just kind of get the basics. It's been nice this spring to have that type of repertoire with everybody and know everybody so well.
Well, JT, you've been going through this for years and years. Anything different to prepare you physically to be ready for, however many games you'll be catching this year, 140, 150? I mean, you're one of the most durable guys there is. How are you doing things differently now?
Just kind of learning my body, honestly. Over the last couple of years, working with Morgan and the training staff, just kind of learning a program that works for me as far as the treatment I get, the stuff I'm doing in the weight room. I feel like I've gotten a little smarter with age and been able to learn what works for me and what doesn't, and what makes me feel the freshest in September and October, as opposed to just being ready to come in spring training, but being able to sustain that for the whole season.
It's interesting because we always talk about routines, and even as you progress in age, there are things you can learn. I mean, just keep getting better at, too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've said this before, I actually feel better at the end of these last couple seasons than I have when I was 27, 28 years old, because I've just kind of learned myself and learned what to do and how to prepare, as opposed to before I was just going as hard as I could all the time and not really conserving energy for the end of the season.
Yeah. JT, I've been asked this offseason, and I'm sure you have too. Losing Game 7 to the Diamondbacks, I told people that I don't think you guys are over it. Not that you're looking back at all, but I think that sits with you guys, that there's an opportunity that's still out there to accomplish something.
Oh, absolutely. John said it best when he spoke to the team in our team meeting this spring. I don't think that we'll ever get over that loss. I think that we thought that we had a team to win the World Series that year, and we were very disappointed in the way it ended. So I don't think that we'll ever necessarily get over that one, but we're going to look forward to this season. We're going to try to make adjustments and be better for it.
Take us through what it's like, that conversation when Rob Thompson wants to sit you one day and you're feeling good and you're feeling hot. Give that to me.
I can't. Honestly, I can't even tell you how those conversations go. Usually it's me whining in the office about wanting to be in the lineup, and then he gives in to me.
I love it.
It's so great. Well, we're looking forward to it, JT, and we always appreciate your insight, and go get them.
Thanks, guys.
All right, JT Realmuto, our guest here at Big Care Ballpark. They do have a great relationship, those two guys. I mean, Rob was a catcher, so he gets. And here's the thing about JT. He is arguably the most durable catcher in Major League Baseball.
Not even close. It's not even close. I mean, the game's played. I mean, the numbers bear out. I mean, it's the numbers don't lie in this case. And he loves to play, man. The guy wants to play, and he's sort of a freak.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of those guys that just he's so athletic. I always talk about he's like a shortstop behind the plate. He takes care of himself, man.
Well, here's Esteban Quiroz. But he takes outside. It's 2-0. Phillies down 2-1 here in the 7th inning.
You know, it's fun to have watched JT's development as a player himself, game calling and things of that nature. You know, when he first came into the league, I think, you know, just like any other catcher, he's trying to figure out his pitching staff and how to work guys, and he's gotten better and better and better every year.
Well, we are lucky to have him, just like that guy right there, too. We'll go to the 8th. It's 2-1 Orioles. Philadelphia area local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com. We head to the top of the 8th inning. That's pretty nice of those folks. Thank you, Jason Kelsey. I hope Jason's watching. I think we were all, what a day yesterday in Philadelphia for the Phillies. Celebrating his legacy, which I think we all wished he would have kept playing, but obviously understood. And then Zach Wheeler's contract extension, and you know, can't underscore at all what the two of them said, well, about their families first and foremost, but about the family of Philadelphia too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a testament to the fans, and you know, I guess the Philadelphia fan gets a lot of heat, you know, outside of the Philadelphia area.
Unwarranted.
Unwarranted. I believe that. And you know, passion and interest, and that's all you want as a player. You want your fans to be into it. And that's exactly what you get out of the fans, whether it's on a positive side or to try to motivate you in some other way. I love what Zach Wheeler said about, hey, man, you know, if I'm not playing well, then you should probably let me know.
Yeah.
And I think that Jason Kelsey said it as well. Like, hey, it's their job and they're allowed to voice their opinions about stuff, and if you embrace that as an athlete, then you're going to have a much greater experience here.
Here's Westberg, and he sends one in the air to right center field. Muzziotti going back. The wind may get it. Muzziotti at the wall makes the catch. He got it. Well, keep track of every roster move, injury updates, and more. The Phillies Talk podcast presented by Team Toyota on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast. The newest edition is now available with Corey, the Cobra, and Ruben discussing Zach Wheeler's contract extension.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We did it a little earlier today. It was fun. The Cobra, the Kirch, Spencer McKercher. He's fun to work with.
He is got a lot of, first of all, got a lot of energy, but it is great to be around.
And Corey as well. I mean, Corey does a heck of a job and super well prepared, man.
It's out of play.
Jackson Holliday is working on a
cycle. I will say, and if you're an Orioles fan, his setup, bat speed, swing, it is a complete package. And his speed, as that one is fouled. I mean, it's freaky how good he's going to be. Yeah, I think, anyway.
It looks pretty impressive, and he's trying to swipe a bag, do a little bit of everything. Played some short earlier, moved over to second base, trying to figure out where he's going to play, if he's going to play in the big leagues this year. And
I think he's going to break camp with him.
He may very well, and he's pushing the envelope, baby.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And there's a strikeout for Mercado. And by the way, a lot of times when players follow their dad, there's some similarities. Very different than his pop.
Yeah, he is different. I mean, his dad is really, really good player. Very physical. Obviously, he was an outfielder. Not really known for his defense, so to speak.
And he's going to swipe second, and will stay there as Muzziotti backs it up.
He may have made contact with Quiros, some part of his body. I think that slowed him up a little bit. But he did make a pretty good jump. Yeah, I don't think Garrett Stubbs had a whole lot of shot at him because he got a tremendous jump.
T.T. Bowens. It's that one skyward to right. Stevenson is out there. And he makes the catch. Inning is over. Not a bad job by Mercado. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th.
May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Phillies.
Bottom of the 8th inning, the Phillies trail at 2-1. McDermott will continue on for the Orioles. Cam Gallagher will lead things off. And Phillies pitching coach Caleb Cotham has been nice enough to join us today. Caleb, today is kind of like for us, it's like celebrating a little bit with Zach getting his extension. It was just a great day yesterday to watch him in his press conference and to see that he'll be in a Phillies uniform for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for him. I think it was kind of surreal a little bit. I mean, I've warmed up. I've been around him warming up a lot, but today was pretty cool. The cheers and just a credit to him and how much he's worked. But yeah, it was a cool day today, especially after yesterday, to him just get back to what he does.
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler makes you awfully smart, doesn't he, when he's on your staff? Makes you feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, good pitchers make good pitching coaches.
Well, but he also credited you as well because, you know, you've been with the Phillies organization now for several years. I mean, it's helped him sort of take that next step and build on who he was when he came over from the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a guy that there's trust both ways now. And, you know, he was a great pitcher before I got here, before I even knew him. And, you know, we built trust over the first year and went on a couple things. And Zach likes to keep it simple, and so do I. And just trying to find the one thing each year to kind of hone in on, and he goes and does it.
Yeah, can you expand on that a little bit about his evolvement as a pitcher? I mean, you know, fastball hook was tremendous, but he's also sort of adding pieces to the arsenal.
I think year one was a lot of getting to know him, and I think helping him understand himself. Like when the ball wasn't doing what he wanted it to do, maybe let's practice how to understand some of the more, they call it advanced things with TrackMan and how the ball flies, and understanding why does a pitch do this and that, so it can help me make an adjustment in game quicker. Helped him understand his cutter, difference in the cutter and his harder slider, and really a lot of that, and then a little bit of game planning, like just doing the simple things and paying attention to the hitter. But that was a lot of the first year, and he was really good, and he got a little better. And then he's tackled a pitch almost a year. So sweeper last year, and this year the split. He threw a couple really good ones today. Got a swing and miss, but yeah, that was encouraging.
There's 3 unassisted by Barron Radcliffe, and there are 2 outs. All right, so I know that there's work to be done, but to have the foundation of, you know, Zach, Aaron, Ranger, that's also good for a pitching coach to have that to sort of blossom when you go into a season.
Yeah, we're really blessed. It helps our bullpen. It helps our other starters. It helps the offense. Like it just kind of settles the whole team in when those guys are doing what they're capable of doing, going deep. And they're also really good. So that's the thing. Yeah. It's hard to go deep if you don't make good pitches, and they make a lot of good pitches. So it just really helps us in planning and keeping relievers fresh and not overusing some relievers here and there. They take the ball, and they like to pitch a long time.
Yeah, some of the guys had a slow start. Some of it was because of some health issues, and guys sort of got out of the gate. Are you guys trying to do anything differently with your staff as far as the workload and things of that nature to prepare them to be a little bit, I guess, sharper in the beginning part of the year?
Yeah, we definitely want to get off to a good start. We've gone a little slower with our starters and the relievers. We've done a little bit normal. We're going to do a little bit of a pullback starting today. Some of the big relievers did some side sessions on the backfields. You know, it's more just constant conversation with them and building, like, with the trust that we've gotten. Just as many honest conversations we have on how you're feeling, because these guys have thrown late in the season. But really, it's day to day. It's every day talking about it with them.
And so you had a conversation today with David Buchanan, and I think it's the first time you've sort of laid your eyes and hands on him. What's he been like? And he's like one of those guys that's refreshing to me because I've known him since he was a kid, but kind of cool to have him back in the organization.
Yeah, it's cool, and I didn't know him before that. I mean, it's just cool to see, you know, the people coming up to him, and they're really happy to see him. So it's just a credit to him, and that's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. He's a great teammate. He cares a lot. He cares about understanding himself and what's going on, and he's asked a lot of really good questions. I think he's really hungry for information, some of the stuff that we can provide, and that was today, just kind of going through some of our reports and showing him how he might use that to his advantage, like post-side, post-game, to help understand some of the things that might have happened in the game. Because he's a really good pitcher. He knows what the ball's doing. So you give him a little of that, no different than a Zach Wheeler. You know, he can take that and go and use it, and it won't confuse him. So the goal is to keep it simple. Just kind of getting him up to speed with some of our systems and things we like to talk about.
Yeah, because he may not have been exposed to it playing overseas the last couple of years also.
Exactly. So everywhere's different. So it's getting on the same page as quick as possible, and we kind of slow drip some things to him. But he's a hungry guy, and he's been really fun to work with. He can do a lot of things with the ball.
Well, before we let you go, Max Castillo today, he looked pretty good.
I mean, really good. That was his best yet. He's gotten better each time out.
Well, you need guys like that. I mean, free agent pickups to have some kind of an impact. And Cal, we appreciate your help and the fact you came on here with us today.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yep. Caleb Cotham, Phillies pitching coach. We have completed 8 innings. We're on to the 9th. 2-1 Orioles. Just like Wheels on Cavity Busters Kids Opening Day, Sunday, April 14th at 1:35. Fans 14 and under, or guys that are the size of Wheels, will receive a sleeveless hoodie. Visit Phillies.com to purchase your tickets today.
Pitching for the Phillies, number 90, Tristan Garnett. And batting for the Orioles, number 90, shortstop Earl Robinson.
Attaboy Wheels.
He's in mid-season form.
Sure is. Here's Earl Robinson, who, by the way, made an unbelievable catch on a pop-up while we were talking to Cal.
He did. I mean, fighting the wind and the sun, and probably has never played in this ballpark ever in his life.
Facing Tristan Garnett, a 6'6" lefty out of Cal State University and out of Oregon State. Phillies signed him as a free agent out of college. Last year, he had an ERA of 1.94 between single A and double A. He struck out 56 in 51 innings. And if he throws strikes, I can't imagine he's easy to face. I mean, he's all arms and legs, and he hides the baseball unbelievably.
And interesting that he stands on the third base. I'd really like left-handers stand on like the first base side a little bit more, but I guess he feels like he has a better angle to throw more consistent strikes if he stays on the third base side.
Oh, he's a big kid.
Yeah, he sure is.
Here's Kobe Mayo. Mayo's 1 for 3 for the Orioles, who lead it 2-1. They have 8 hits. The Phillies have 6.
Yeah, the interesting thing is I really like those guys that have that high, really high glove side, and he throws that glove up into the air, and it sort of makes it difficult, or does make it difficult for the hitters to sort of see the ball out of his hand and the track, because it gets replaced with the hand, the pitching hand. But you get that front side and that glove flying at you, just makes it tougher.
Yeah, like I said, if you can command it. And he commanded it. Gets a strikeout.
Nothing like a funky left-hander. It's not a comfortable at bat.
Well, here's Daniel Johnson that he takes in. Runner goes. I don't think Stubbs has a chance on this one. Actually, it was closer than I thought.
He did have a heck of a jump.
And not much that Garrett could do there. Because with all the arms and legs, it does mean that guys can probably get a good jump on him.
Yeah, it takes a little time for him to deliver the baseball to the catcher, and much to the chagrin of Garrett Stubbs, didn't really have a chance to get him either. It's nice to see the steal back into the game so prominently. It's a pretty filthy changeup. I mean, it looks like a fastball, 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 and then it just stops, pops, and drops.
That one just missed. Phillies will be off tomorrow. In fact, it's basically an off day in spring training. They've built in a lot of these, well, not a lot. There's a couple of these days they've built in, which they never really used to have. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. It's time to bid on game used and autographed items from your favorite Phillies. The Phillies auction is currently live and features some great items such as a Bryson Stott autographed 2022 World Series cap, a Trey Turner autographed baseball, home plate autographed by members of the 2023 team. Visit Phillies.com/auctions before bidding ends. March 25th. Diego Castillo, who has moved over to second. Runner goes from second. And Robinson steals third.
Stubbs is getting his work in on his throws. His footwork, again, he doesn't have a whole lot of chance. Cannot block the bag anymore, so you see his leg staying on top of the bag instead of in front of the bag. Had it been in front, they would have just given him the base.
And a line drive, base hit. It's a left center field for Castillo. That'll bring home Robinson. And it's now 3-1 Orioles.
This ball was not super well hit. I think he got it, off the end of the bat. Pretty smart placement, though. Gets it, flips it over the shortstop, and a little bit of a miscue. Whoops.
Here's Ardway, and he takes low. Ardway last year 8 home runs, 38 runs batted in.
That's how you pronounce that name?
Yeah.
Ardway?
Well,
you're on top of things, Tom. You know that?
Rick,
I mean, it looks like an Ardoin to me.
Rick gave me the pronunciation. It's also on the bottom of the Orioles.
Well, if I was professional, I'd
traveling roster.
That up, yeah.
It was backed up by Mr. Spring Training. I heard him say it also. He's locked in now. He's got all the
vapor
changes.
locked. He longs for the latter part of the spring so that he doesn't have to worry. I mean, my card is a mess.
Left fielder Judd Fabian.
And here's Fabian. Fabian takes.
Stubby having a little chat with him, making sure that he concentrates on throwing strikes.
Yeah, they've got somebody warming up in the pen, though, too, because he's getting higher with his number. Fabian's out of the University of Florida. He was the second-round pick by the Red Sox after one season with the Gators, and then second-round pick by the Orioles a year later. Last year in Double-A and Single-A, he had 223. He had 24 home runs. Yeah, a swing and a miss, 1-1. His second to last year, or his last 2 years at Florida, he had 44 home runs.
Oh, look out.
His bat goes flying out toward the
camera well
on the third base side.
I think the bat went further than the ball, Tom.
Ball went behind home plate to the right. Tony Manzolino is going to track the bat down.
That's why they have all those screens up there now. Pretty good launch angle.
And that's strike 3.
Great visit by Garrett Stubbs.
Leads to the third strikeout of the inning. Got lots of changes in the game. It's tough sometimes. You got to be focused. You need some assistance. And sometimes the game gets the best of you. It happens.
Cure Auto Insurance. Drive well.
Nick Potko will lead it off for the Phils as we go to the bottom of the ninth inning, 3-1. Tucker Davidson, who's been a big leaguer with the Braves, with the Angels, and with the Royals, on the pitch for the Orioles. He tightens that one up, and it's 1-1 strike. Potko, his first time up, flied out to center field.
Davidson going through that roster razzle-dazzle. He was claimed off of waivers by the O's in the offseason in October, and then outrighted. Got through waivers that next time, and now has been invited to camp.
Inside 3-1. De La Cruz is on deck. Davidson last year with the Royals pitched in 20 games. He made one start, had an ERA over 5. His ERA in the big leagues in 55 games is 5.98. There's ball 4. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles, 23 years in a row. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. By the Xfinity 10G network, the future starts now. By Citizens, official bank of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Learn more at IBX.com.
To see De La Cruz get into one right here.
I'm with you on that.
Get it up, get airborne to left. Let's see how much thunder you've got. I know he's got power.
Rockets that one into left field, a base hit. And it brings Garrett Stubbs up.
Well, Davidson's very fortunate that he does not get the bottom half of this ball, because it would have been off the Frenchies sign out there in left field. But really nice swing by De La Cruz. Staying on this high, I think we got a high changeup. Nice job of hitting.
One ball and no strikes. Breaking ball. We'll face the Astros on Friday at 1 o'clock.
Get to do this again.
NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus. One ball and 2 strikes. Popped up.
It could be trouble.
Shallow center field. Robinson made a circus catch earlier. And this time makes it a little easier play.
He really retreated on this ball well. It's one of the things that are instinctively you just don't think to do, is to turn your back and just start running to the ball, which Robinson did a super job of. As you said, he made a great play earlier. Made that one look like it was a piece of cake.
Well, here's Simone Muzziotti, who flied out to left in his first at bat, 0 for 1. Tying runs at first base here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Simone with a little moss work in this year.
Sure does.
Yeah, a little length back there.
Bouncer over to first. Bowens has it, goes to second. That's a heck of a play by Robinson. Holy cow.
You are correct.
His hand-eye coordination in this game has been stellar. 3-6 on the putout.
Yeah, a little bit of a dangerous play. You almost want to take the out here if you're first base, but he wants to get this lead runner. Pretty aggressive throw, but I mean, this is across his body. Stays the footwork here at the end by Robinson.
Yeah, this is an excellent play.
Stays on the bag. And, I mean, that could have been really dangerous for the O's.
Well, Pedro Martinez will pinch hit for the Phillies. And he takes low. Martinez last year hit .226 with 5 home runs in the minor leagues. Off the plate, nobody's covering first. Run will score. Tying run is at second base. It's a 3-2 game.
Oh, hometown hero, Tom.
Cam Gallagher coming up.
And make his mark. The first baseman gets a little aggressive. This is sort of an easy play for the first baseman, and leaves first base unattended.
Well, now Cam Gallagher will be the batter. Time is called for a moment. Gallagher's 0 for 3 today. Getting homered the other day here at Baycare Ballpark. Near the dirt, 1-0.
Send him home happy, Cam.
Oh, really? If he puts one in the gap, he may still send them home happy.
No doubt.
A Dusty do on that one.
Dusty didn't look nervous, but he was, I guarantee you. Dangers of a third base coach.
One ball, one strike. That one's out to center field. Not hit that hard, and the inning and the ball game are over. Phillies do score a run here in the 9th inning, but the Orioles will leave Clearwater at Baycare Ballpark with a 3-2 victory. A lot of good things today, though, from a Phillies pitching standpoint.
Yeah, really liked what I saw out of Wheeler. Like Max Castillo threw the ball well. Mercado, pretty impressive. I liked it.
Yeah, they all looked very good. Our Chevrolet player of the game. Well, Jackson Holliday, you want to talk about looking good.
Boy, he really swung the bat well. A little cutter that stayed in the middle of the field, middle of the plate, and he smokes it to right center field for his first hit of the game. Max Castillo throws a little changeup. He stays on this one. He drives into dead center field. I don't think Christian Pache had a very good beat on this one, but makes it into third base fairly easily, and then he hits a curveball. Different pitches for a base knock up the middle, and 3 for 4. Quite a day for the #1 prospect in baseball. He was the Chevrolet player of the game.
Kept his hands back on all those swings and did so nicely. So 3-2, the final score. The Orioles have knocked off the Phillies here in Clearwater. Our next Phillies broadcast comes your way Friday afternoon when the Astros pay a visit to Baycare. 1 o'clock on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus, or streaming on the NBC Sports app. The senior producer of Phillies baseball, Jeff Halleckman. John DeSangro is our associate producer, and today's director was Nick Marquetta. For Ruben Amaro and our entire crew here in Clearwater, thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Tom McCarthy. Phil's lose at 3-2. We'll see you back here in Clearwater on Friday afternoon for more spring training baseball against the Stros. Have a great